Welcome back to Binge Guide, the next show. Today we're doing a deep dive into a film that's already generating some pretty serious buzz. Watch the Skies. It's set to land internationally on May 9th.
Right. And this isn't just, another sci-fi flick hitting the screens. What makes Watch the Skies particularly interesting, I think, is its origin. It's actually a Swedish production, originally called UFO Sweden, and they've used this really innovative approach to bring it to a global audience.
Exactly, yeah. The core story follows Denise. She's this rebellious teenager in Sweden, and she's absolutely convinced that her father didn't just run off. She thinks his disappearance was something much more, well, otherworldly. She believes he was abducted by aliens.
And when, nobody around her believes this suspicion, she ends up seeking out a pretty unconventional group, a local UFO club. From what we understand, this isn't your typical, serious research group. They're described as funky, lovable weirdos and rejects, which immediately suggests as a unique dynamic.
Yeah, it definitely sounds quirky. So this unlikely alliance, they set off on an adventure. Sounds like Denise and this UFO club are going to be pushing some boundaries, legally maybe, and potentially even, the boundaries of our world. The initial reactions, the buzz around Watch the Skies has been fascinating. Lots of comparisons to those classic Amblin films from the 80s.
Oh, definitely. Like Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, specifically.
Right, but maybe with a bit of that quirky Stranger Things vibe mixed in.
And even the title itself, Watch the Skies, that's a nice little nod, isn't it? That was the original working title for Close Encounters.
Exactly. It's a nice bit of nostalgia there.
What's really intriguing about this setup, I find, is that immediate blend. You've got this very personal, very emotional quest, a daughter looking for her father, mixed with the potential for something much bigger, like a cosmic narrative. That intersection, the intimate and the grand, that's often where the best science fiction lives,
Absolutely. And it's worth thinking about the pedigree here, too. Sweden actually has a pretty strong track record, doesn't it? Producing genre films that really connect.
Oh, yeah. You think of films like Let the Right One In.
Or The Guilty.
Right. It suggests Watch the Skies comes from a filmmaking scene that really understands how to build atmosphere and character, even within a, genre framework.
That's a really good point. Swedish genre cinema often seems to prioritize that character development and a strong sense of place. The fantasy elements explore human themes. It's rarely just about, the spectacle.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's look behind the camera for a sec. Watch the Skies is directed by Viktor Danell, and it's the brainchild of this Swedish collective called Crazy Pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they share writing credits with Jimmy Nuvernolson. This collaborative approach, especially with a collective like Crazy Pictures, could lend a really distinct, unified vision to the film, don't you think?
I do, yeah. When you have a collective that deeply involved, you often get a very cohesive artistic vision and maybe even a greater willingness to experiment, take some creative risks.
And who's bringing this story to life on screen? The cast.
Well, we have Inez Dahl Torhag in the lead role as Denise, the teenager.
Okay.
And she's supported by a really interesting ensemble. Eva Melander is in it. Some people might know her from The Conference or the film Border.
Oh, yeah. Porter was fantastic.
Incredible film. And then there's Jesper Barkselius, Sarah Sherpy, Håkan N., Isabel Kaid, Matthias Liffner, and Nicholas Kvarnbo Jensen. So it's a mix of emerging talent and more established actors.
Eva Melander's involvement is definitely noteworthy. Her performances, they really showcase this ability to play complex, often unconventional characters. That could add a really fascinating layer here.
Totally agree.
Okay, now let's talk about something truly fascinating with this film. The way it's been adapted for English-speaking audiences. Watch the Skies uses this AI-powered tech called visual dubbing. It's called TruSync from a company called Flawless.
Right. This is a potentially huge development in how international films reach wider audiences. Like you said, it was originally filmed in Swedish, released there a couple years back as UFO Sweden. But instead of traditional dubbing, where the lips don't quite match or doing expensive reshoots, they went with this technology.
So how does it work exactly? The original actors re-recorded their lines in English.
That's right. They re-recorded their dialogue in English, and then this TruSync AI technology digitally alters their lip movements in the original footage to perfectly, seamlessly match the new English audio.
Wow.
The producers are really emphasizing that this should give a much more natural, more immersive viewing experience for English speakers. It could remove that visual disconnect you sometimes get with dubbing. The hope is it makes foreign films more accessible, more enjoyable globally.
And this isn't the absolute first time this tech's been used, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they use it on that movie Fall?
Correct, yeah. It was reportedly used in Fall to subtly change some dialogue, specifically to remove some offensive language without having to reshoot entire scenes.
Interesting application there, too.
And it's important to point out, Flawless, the company, they've apparently worked closely with SAG-AFTRA, the actors union.
Oh, good.
Yeah, to ensure this is seen as a tool, something that enhances dubbing, not something that replaces human creativity or, the essential work of voice actors.
So on a technical level, how does TruSync actually do this? It sounds incredibly complex.
From the descriptions, yeah, it sounds pretty intricate. The AI analyzes the original actors' performances really granularly, frame by frame. It maps their facial movements, their expressions. Then it uses that data to subtly alter just the mouth movements in post-production, making sure the lips perfectly sync with the new English dialogue. That level of detail, it could really bridge that uncanny valley you sometimes get with dubs.
This really does feel like it could be a game changer. I mean, imagine watching any foreign film and it just feels like the actors are speaking your language without that jarring disconnect.
It definitely raises fascinating questions, doesn't it, about the future of international film distribution, how audiences engage with films from different languages. If it works well and gets adopted, yeah, it could open up a whole new world of cinema.
Okay, shifting gears a bit, beyond the whole alien abduction mystery, it seems like Watch the Skies is digging into some deeper themes too.
Absolutely. The hook is the disappearance and the potential UFOs, yeah. But the narrative seems to really delve into things like teenage isolation, that sort of universal human need to believe in something bigger than the everyday, and also the power of family bonds, Denise's determination to find her father, that's a strong emotional core.
And there's that element, too, of questioning the official story, right? Denise rejects the normal explanations, and she finds her people with this group of outsiders who also challenge the mainstream view.
Exactly. It feels like it's tapping into that cultural fascination with hidden truths, the idea that maybe people on the fringes are the ones who see things clearly. The UFO Club, these weirdos, they become symbols of alternative perspectives, of having the courage to question authority.
So what about the overall vibe? The look and feel? What kind of visual style are we expecting?
Well, reports suggest it aims for this palpable sense of both wonder and unease. The Spielberg comparisons probably point to a visual language that evokes discovery, but maybe hints at something mysterious, even threatening underneath.
So, like evocative night skies.
Yeah, starry nights, maybe some secretive hidden locations. A style that balances those intimate character moments with potentially bigger, more otherworldly events.
So it's going for that nostalgic Spielberg feel, but with a modern sensibility.
That seems to be the goal. Capture that sense of wonder, that adventure from those classics, but ground it in a more contemporary context. Relatable characters, maybe a slightly more nuanced approach overall.
Okay, let's get down to brass tacks, the practical details. When and where can people actually see Watch the Skies?
All right, it's scheduled for a limited theatrical release in the U.S. starting this Friday, May 9th, 2025.
Okay, limited release.
Yeah, so it'll be playing in select movie theaters, mostly in major cities. Definitely check your local listings to see if it's playing near you. It's also worth noting it's going to be a competitive weekend. Other films are opening too.
Good point. And the runtime, how long is it?
The reported runtime varies just slightly. Some sources say 1 hour 50 minutes, others say 116 minutes, so basically expect just under 2 hours.
Okay, good to know. So wrapping it all up, Watch the Skies really sounds like a compelling package. You've got classic sci-fi themes, aliens, secrets, but through this Swedish lens, using this really cutting-edge AI dubbing tech.
Yeah, the big questions for viewers will be, 1, does this visual dubbing actually enhance the experience? Does it feel natural? And 2, of course, what's the truth about Denise's father? Is it aliens, something else?
With those clear echoes of Spielberg and this really intriguing AI element, Watch the Skies definitely sounds like it could be your next must-see. Keep an eye out for it in select theaters starting Friday, May 9th.
It'll be really fascinating to see how audiences react both to the story itself and to this novel way of watching an international film.
Absolutely. This has been your deep dive into Watch the Skies right here on Binge Guide, the next show. Your guide to what you should be watching next. Until our next exploration, keep watching.